So here's where we're at with Psalm 3. Catch. No, wait a minute. Which brings us to the verse we started with, verse 5. I lie down and sleep. I wake again because the Lord sustains me. I will not fear though tens of thousands assail me on every side. Think about how verse 5 fits into the progression of this psalm. Verse 1, right? Starts with his enemies. His eyes are full of his enemies. How many? Tons of enemies. They're everywhere. But then he goes, oh yeah, I'm going to take my eyes off of my enemies. I'm going to focus on the Lord, right? He remembers his theology. He rehearses what he knows about God. Instead of how many, he goes, you protect me. You satisfy me. You restore me. You answer me. And now that he's taken his eyes away from his enemies and put them on God, now he can put them on himself with a whole different frame of reference. So now he can say in verse 5, I lie down and sleep. I wake up. I will not fear. I mean, this is really a beautiful thing, right? Because has anything ever really changed? I mean, have his foes been dealt with? Has Absalom been defeated? Is he back on the throne? No, none of that's changed. None of his troubles are really resolved. And yet David says, you know what, I'm okay with that. I have peace, even in the face of my foes, even in my face of my troubles. I'm going to let Absalom plot. I'm going to let Absalom scheme. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to sleep. And I can do that because I know that God is watching over me. Makes me think of that beautiful verse from Psalm 23, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Isn't that a beautiful verse? You prepare a feast. I'm going to feast. I'm going to enjoy the banquet. Yeah, all of my enemies right there in front of me, but they're not going to keep me from enjoying this good meal. Same thing what David's saying here. All my enemies, you know what? I'm going to take a nap. I'm good with that. God's watching over me. So God gives David peace, but that's not where the psalm ends. God gives David peace, but David continues the prayer and asks that God also gives him justice. Verse 7, arise, Lord, deliver me, my God, strike all my enemies on the jaw, break the teeth of the wicked.